Guys, welcome to your Dine at Home cook along video. Thank you so much to every one of you again. It is another sellout. You are absolute legends. Thank you so much. Your support is unbelievable, and you can't imagine how thankful I am for every single one of you purchasing a box this week. I hope I repaid in good food, good flavour, and a bit of a laugh as well doing this. So guys, I can't express enough how thankful I am for your beautiful support. So on to the box this week. Few newcomers this week, quite a few newcomers this week. So again guys, I'll try and go through everything as clearly as possible. So you have a beautiful milk bread. It's essentially a nice white country loaf, tear and share. So when after you bake it, you can share it between obviously the two of you. Obviously you have more, you've ordered more boxes, obviously share it amongst you. Basically 180 degrees, which your oven should be preset at if you follow the instructions. 5 minutes is absolutely perfect for that. Your Marmite butter, please make sure that you take that out of your box and leave it out at room temperature, because obviously it is really cold anyway outside, and equally the fridge is obviously a hell of a lot colder, and that will be rock solid, so please leave that out as well guys, and enjoy those together for your first taste of Dine at Home. Once you finish that guys, on the table your starter, which we'll move straight into. Delicious starter. I'm a massive fan of sort of Asian flavours, and every now and again we pop a little dashi in or whatever. This week is a beautiful dashi. So we have you'll have one pot. Your one, if you're sharing, will be a taller pot, obviously for two. This is for one person, hence the video. This is a beautiful roasted pork dashi. So basically we've just got a load of pork bones off the belly. We've roasted those and we've made a seaweed stock from those bones, which is just delicious. And also you have a beautiful ravioli, which you can see, which is filled with pork belly. So we take the skin off the pork belly, we dice it, we mix it with some homemade hoisin sauce, and then we mix it with a little bit of spring onion as well, season it, and that's it. Super simple. It's literally what you see is what you get. Very vibrant spring onion oil, which is literally oil, spring onion, a little touch of salt. This is just for me, if you've got tea on, it's literally the very last bit of butternut squash. Super thick, super rich, super creamy. It's literally butternut squash and butter, that's it, and blended. So it's a nice clean flavour. And we've got these lovely little discs of pickled butternut squash as well. Just literally, it just cuts through, and then you get a little bit of a texture of the butternut squash as well. So super simple guys, if you follow the instructions as I've seen, but for me, 30 seconds in the microwave for your butternut squash puree. Your discs and your oil is at room temperature, so make sure you bring your oil and your discs out of the fridge. But again, it's all instructed on your instructions. And for your dashi, bring it up to the heat, but please don't boil it because it will go cloudy. As you can see, it's a beautiful clear stock. And your ravioli will take between 3 and 4 minutes to reheat. So I'm very simply going to pop my ravioli into some water. Not salted, not nothing, just boiling water. Obviously a very slight simmer, so we're not obviously knocking it around. You don't want it to knock around and start sort of bashing off the sides. You just want it to reheat very gently. And then the dashi, I'm just going to pop into a pan here, and again on a very low heat, just bring that up to temperature. I definitely recommend doing it on the stove as opposed to the microwave. And then join me in 3 minutes, and we'll go through the very final stages and the plating. Okay guys, so 3 minutes has literally been 3 minutes. So as you can see, the dashi, you can see that, Yeah, so the dashi just starting to sort of make some sort of smoke, so heat signs coming up. So that's all I want to do. I just want to literally, you can see the steam coming off there. That's all I want. I don't want it any hotter. Perfect temperature, almost like a cup of tea type of temperature. That's a good little analogy to use there. Okay, so obviously the ravioli is just heating up very gently in there, which is great. I've got a little Scotch spoon. Obviously get the majority of that water off, then it's tilted to that one side, so obviously now we tell to get the rest of it off, but very gently. I always use J cloth. I appreciate it's expensive and you can just quite easily use tissue paper. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that either, but I just think it just drains a little bit easier on the J cloth. So I'm just going to very gently sort of dab that on there, and then you have your butternut squash puree, which has been well and truly sabotaged live in the microwave. And obviously our other room temperature bits, which is the pickles and the spring onion. Okay, I always finish off the raviolis with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. This is a single estate Spanish olive oil, and I do sort of make sure we get a decent quality in. It just gives it a nice depth of flavour, but also gives it a nice sheen as well, and finishes it all off just right. A little bit of Morden sea salt on top, and a tiny little bit of cracked black pepper as well. And as I said, it's just a personal touch. It doesn't need seasoning per se. I just like that little flavour hit, but also it certainly doesn't need the pepper. That's just completely personal. to me, but I would recommend it. So with your bowl, with your bowl, just make sure you've got quite a bit of a wide bowl. You don't want like a pasta bowl. You want quite almost like a cereal sort of bowl size, which is absolutely fine. So you just want to sort of you just want a sort of cereal bowl, so you can just sort of place everything in the centre. So with your butternut squash puree, I'll get there in the end. Just pop that into the middle of your bowl, just like so. And then, I mean, again, this is what's so great about Dine at home. You can literally base it however you like. I want to get the pickles and the oil obviously on show. So I'm going to get my ravioli, which has been cooking for 4 minutes. I'm going to pop that right in the middle. Obviously, it lifts it up slightly as well, so it gives it a nice sort of nice little bit of height. And with the pickles, I think we've done 6 each, I think. So I'm just going to sort of dot those in and around, and they'll be floating as well once you put the dashi in. They'll all be sort of floating all around it, but already the colour is just, especially for an autumn dish, the colour's superb. And then I would recommend definitely using a jug. But if you've got a nice slight hand, you can obviously use it. Bearing in mind this is 1 portion, so I've absolutely treated you there, guys. And you can chill it down and reheat it the next day. Make sure you do bring it up above 80 degrees for that. And then very simply finish it off with a lovely spring onion oil, which will split beautifully into the dashi. And there we are. That simple. I'm just going to wipe that down. I'll turn it around to you, but we're really careful because obviously it's liquid. But I think that looks absolutely wonderful. Super picturesque, beautiful, super tasty. So you have your hoisin pork belly ravioli with your roasted pork dashi, butternut squash puree, butternut squash pickles, and your spring onion oil. Guys, enjoy that, and join me in after your starters for the main courses. Thank you. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed your starter as always. We thought that the dashi is really sort of rich and umami, so I thought that dashi came through really well in that dish. So hopefully you did too. So on to your main course then, guys. This is venison. It's Highland venison that we get from an estate up in obviously Scotland. We use the shoulder of the venison. We brine it for 24 hours in our 10% salt brine. Then we cook it also for 24 hours. Flake it down. The cooking juice or liquid that comes from it, we reduce that down to a thick glaze, and we band that back through the venison, and then obviously set it into a tray, and then obviously portion it, so you get a really nice chunk of venison shoulder mix, which I think is delicious. And to go with that, we've also got a beautiful faggot as well, which is actually a little bit of pork with some venison leg meat, haunch meat as well. So that's your venison faggot. We have a beautiful, I put Swede fondant. It's almost like a wedge of Swede because the Swedes were so big. We didn't obviously want to waste any, so we've actually water bathed them at 95 degrees in a beautiful burn noisette, and then we've sliced them into nice thick wedges. So I'm going to go through in a couple of minutes, or in a minute or so, just to do the roasting of that. You have a beautiful beetroot ketchup, which is slightly sweetened with blackcurrant juice. We also have a really rich venison sauce. And in here you have a Swede crumble, which is literally blended Swede with some water. And then we squeeze all the water out and then deep fry it. And it's just a beautiful sort of texture and flavour to accompany the Swede and then obviously the rest of the dish. There is some fresh kale as well that we've lightly sprayed in some water, and then a beautiful rich Swede puree. So I'm going to go through obviously the reheating bits. With the garnish, it's just a very simple microwave job, just like the butternut squash. Sauce, obviously clearly, to make sure you heat that up above 85 degrees on the stove. Your beetroot ketchup is to be enjoyed at room temperature, as is your crumble, and then your kale. Guys, you know it's a good kale. It's literally into boiling water. Out. I normally season it after, but again, if you want to put it into seasoned water beforehand, that's totally too. It's just personal to me. I always season it after because I like the salt to be stuck on. So come and join me, guys, because the faggot and the venison is a simple reheat job in the oven. You haven't got to touch it. But the Swede, I would recommend, you don't have to do this, but I would recommend just to put it into the pan first, just to get a little bit cooler. So come and join me and I'll show you a real simple way to do that. Got the water on nice and low for my kale, so that's all ready to go. I'm just going to knock my my pan up, obviously, for the Swede. So the Swede, it has been seasoned in essence. Of the butter had been seasoned that we obviously water bathed it in. But I would definitely recommend you to season it a little bit further. And fine sea salt, fine table salt is absolutely fine for that. So a little bit on that side, and then when we roast that, this is one side, we'll flip it over and have a little bit more salt on that side as well. Move that to one side. As you can see, the venison is in some nice grease proof paper, as is the banger, and that literally just allows you, you know, when it comes out of the oven, which you'll see in 10 minutes time when it's done, it will just it just won't stick. It's as simple as that. I would certainly not recommend not using it, even if it is a non-stick tray. I just wouldn't trust it. I'll just make sure that you obviously use a little bit of grease proof paper. I would just season a tiny bit of seasoning on top of the venison and a tiny bit of seasoning on top of the banger as well. I'll bring it to you. You just see it. There we are. Okay, and then I also like to have a little bit of black pepper. As you can see, as you've probably noticed by now from the ravioli, I just enjoy the black pepper flavour. That's all. It's completely optional. It's certainly not a necessity at all. So the wedge of swede. The swede is naturally quite sweet, so it should start to colour almost instantly. As you can see on the outside, it will start to colour up there, and then again on the underside, which we've just flipped it, that will start to colour. I just like to have that little bit of sort of caramelisation on the vegetables. I think it obviously promotes the flavour of them, and I think it's a nice texture as well, just to get that outside a little bit crispier. What we'll do is we'll just finish it off with a beautiful bit of butter as well, because you can never ever have too much butter. A doctor will tell you otherwise, but I promise you can never have too much butter. Just going to burn-wise at that as well. So again, I'm keeping my pan quite warm because I just want that sort of essence of nuttiness flavour going into the swede. The other side, while the pan was quite hot, I will start colouring up as well in the burn noisette, which is perfect. So pop that right in there. Get that burn noisette sort of dark. You know what I mean? We don't want it obviously sort of burning, but we do want it sort of a nutty brown colour. I'm going to knock that off. The residual heat in the pan will continually caramelising the butter and the swede, as you can see. Just like that. It's nice and nutty. Sort of does that. It's got a beautiful, beautiful colour. There we are. That's what perfect. And then, simple as that. You take the swede out, just like that. Pop it onto your tray. A little bit of that butter. Pop that on top of your swede as well. Perfect. Do that to one side. Take your tray. Pop it into the oven. This is obviously a professional oven. So this will probably take about 8 minutes in here, but at home I would say between 10 and 12 minutes. So I would join me in 8 minutes. Make sure you get your kale on during leaving the end of your oven, because none of that needs resting. Make sure you obviously get your kale on, get your squash, get your puree on, get your sauce on, and then we'll come back in 8 minutes and I can go for the plating with it. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so my 8 minute time has literally just gone up on the oven. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop my kale. Obviously my water is boiling over there, unseasoned as I said before, so the kale's in. My sauce was already gently heated. I'll put that on the stove bit there as well. I'll take my venison tray out and I'll just show you how it's all sort of come back to heat. It smells absolutely delicious there. Okay, so as you can see guys, so the venison shoulder is super soft, okay? It's like unbelievably soft, super hot as well. And you fag it, so we almost scorch them at 300 degrees in the oven for 1 minute, that's it. It's just to sort of almost sear the outsides, that's all we do. And as you can see, the beautiful swede coloured both sides there, see? Beautiful soft and just roasting that buttery sort of flavour, which is amazing. And then we've also got the sweet puree, which is super hot, just come out of the oven. Obviously your beetroot ketchup and your sweet crumble is all room temperature as well. So that is it, the kale should nearly be there. Again, you can cook kale as little or as much as you would like to. I don't obviously want chewy like a sipping tea sort of kale, but I obviously don't want it like there's nothing left of it, it's disintegrated as well. So still want to keep a little bit of structure to it. And I'll say the reason why I don't season the water is because I just like to season it when it just especially comes out, that's all. But again, it's totally up to you. I like to just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on there, and then a little bit of sea salt. I always use Morgan sea salt as well. That's it, simple as that. Okay, so that's all done. So it's literally ready to plate. It's as simple as that. Plating wise, just like the starter, guys, it's totally up to you. Just use your little spatulas to get under venison. A nice little trick what I always do is I flip the venison over, and what you'll see is the other side is starting to caramelise, and it is just absolutely delicious. I'm going to put my venison on top, a bit controversial, but I kind of like it. And then your swede as well, as I said before guys, get that butter off your tray and smash it straight onto your cake. There we are. And then you've got your beautiful sweet puree, which again, give it a nice, give it a nice stir. So that heat distributes itself evenly in there. Giving you quite a bit of this, so it'll be nice and rich. I sort of always think that purees are really underrated on plates, and the reason being it's there for that sort of brings everything together. It's there, it's that sort of soft texture. So I've got that on there. Again, if you want to use a, if you want to use a squirty bottle or whatever, please, crack on, not stopping anyone from doing anything different. Just I just like to keep it nice and clean. We're at home, nice and clean. See what you're eating. That's what it is. Okay, so your sweet crumble. Again, we've put a good sort of half tablespoon in there. Put a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit on my puree, and then quite a bit of it on my sweet as well. And it just gives that extra bit of texture to the dish, which you wouldn't normally find. I think it's awesome. So, kale, move quickly on your kale, guys, because as you know, it doesn't exactly say not hot for long, but we'll give you quite a bit of kale there, which is cool. Okay, so that's there, and then just finish it up with obviously your sauce, but just before that, put a nice beetroot ketchup. This has been on the menu once before with venison actually, and I just think that the smell, you can see it's quite earthy. There's a nice bit of sweetness there because of the addition of the blackcurrant as well, the blackcurrant juice. So that's all in there as well. And I'm just going to finish off with a beautiful bit of sauce. Literally just come back up to the boil just in time. Super thick this one, guys, so please don't reduce it. The moment it comes up to temperature, take it off. If it gets too thick, just put a little bit of water in. That's all you need to put in there. A little bit of large fraction chemical stock. Okay, so I always say season your protein, always season your meat, so it just penetrates into that venison. And there we are. A little bit of artistry on the outside. Very simple as that. This is your main course, and again, I think that's wonderful for water. A beautiful pressed venison shoulder with its faggot, roasted piece of sweet puree, beetroot ketchup, fresh kale, and then your beautiful venison sauce just to finish off. And a bit of sweet crunch in there as well for a bit of texture. Guys, enjoy the main course. I know I certainly will. So I'll see you for the dessert in a bit. How good was that main course? Enjoy it? So if you like venison, you 100% enjoyed that main course. So on to your dessert, guys. This is a bit of a nostalgic sort of dessert for me. So this is a beautiful carrot and orange cake. This is carrot cake we used to do at Samling up in the Lake District when I was there. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful cake. The only difference with this, same recipe, the only difference with this is we actually, or here at Dine at home, we've done a beautiful orange and rum and vanilla syrup. So we just heated that sort of syrup up, and then once these have been baked, we just straight away just pour the syrup over. And we do that 3 times just to make sure it sort of comes in. So I think it's delicious. I have preheated this for 30 seconds in the microwave, so it's nice and warm, but equally it softens it up as well. Obviously, there's a nice bit of sugar in there as well. So, okay, relatively small bowl, nothing too large. No point in it obviously going too big and searching around the plate. I've done a lovely Clementine condiment, which of course we get whole clementines in. We actually boil them here for about 30 to 60 minutes, depending on size, and then we reduce that, actually water down so it gets to like an orange juice. We make caramel out of that juice, and we blend the sort of mushed oranges in that as well, and then you get this beautiful sort of very gently spiced orange condiment, which I think is just delicious. It goes so well with the carrot cake. This is a tiny piece. I've just literally, again, it was just sold out. We've literally done the whole inside of it. So video, it's sort of a beautiful spoonful from there. So I'll pop that to the right hand side of your dish, and it is, man, it's so nice. It is, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little bit Christmassy. So it does taste a little bit Christmassy, but it's absolutely delicious. They'll give you loads of granola. The granola's there to have nice texture because the sponge is soft. Obviously the puree is soft with the condiment soft, so put that to one side as well. Balance them all together. I've preheated the white chocolate sauce as well, which is beautiful. Really sweet, really rich, indulgent white chocolate sauce. Give it a stir. Wow. You might get drunk off that. That is super, super rummy. So I'll pop it over there, guys. Super simple dessert, but oh my god, it's so, so tasty. Loads of sauce as well. And just knock all that all over your carrot cake. And there, guys, is your dessert. carrot cake, your spiced, gently spiced Clementine condiment with your granola, oat granola, and obviously your white chocolate rub sauce. Super delicious, guys. I really, really hope you enjoy that dessert as well. Perfect this time of the year. I would definitely eat your sponge as well to enjoy it all warm. And that concludes our Dine at Home. I hope you'll be able to follow. I hope you can recreate the dishes that we've done today. Obviously, Dine at Home. You have got a little finisher, which is our, well, it's almost become a bit of a signature, but fruit and nut fudge. I would recommend adding a little bit of sea salt on top if you'd like to. But again, it's not a necessity at all. Enjoy that with a tea or coffee or just on its own, or leave it for the next day if you're a little bit full. And that concludes everything. Guys, thank you so much. We have obviously collaborated next week with Highland Wagon. We've already sold 60 boxes, so we normally work on 80. So just to bear in mind, we've got over a week left and we've sold pretty much 80% of our boxes. So please, if you are interested in next week's menu, obviously get involved. If you've already purchased it, tell your friends to get involved. We need to spread the word. We need to spread the joy to everybody at home at the moment in this lockdown. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next week. Stay safe, stay sane, and dine at home.